So I still dress the same as the previous video because I record on the same day. Okay, so I got requests to do a video on stretchings. A lot of people, they do their exercise at home, and then after that they feel pretty tired since the whole day they're not walking anywhere. So even for myself, I feel I am much more flexible when I am actually working and teaching classes, and even just walking around. But when you're stuck at home, you're just, in your own square feet, you can't really walk that much. When you're not walking much, your body tends to get very, very tight. So they requested me to do some Pilates stretchings with them. So let's do it together, okay? So let's begin with having your mat. You can actually do without your mat too, doesn't matter. You're gonna just sit, okay? Sitting up nice and tall. So I have my leg open as wide as the mat. Why am I doing this? It's because you're able to stretch out even deeper, okay? So you want to sit up very nice, and so just place your hands at your knees. Now if you are very tight at your lower back, or your hamstring, you can keep the knee slightly bent. It will help you to just sit up taller. If even by doing that you don't feel comfortable sitting up tall, then what you can do is you can put some cushion, sitting on the cushions, okay? So one good thing about staying at home is you have a lot of cushions. Alright, so you want to sit up straight. So this is straight. Some people is like, oh, I'm sitting straight, I'm straight. Now, just go and get a camera and record yourself, or do it in front of the mirror. This is not straight, okay? This is straight. Alright, flex your feet. Reason being is when you flex your feet, you're able to stretch your calf a little bit more. Alright, nice and tall. You're going to inhale, and then exhale. You're going to stretch for your neck. Stretch from your upper back, middle back, and you're going to continue reaching your hands forward to stretch your lower back. Alright, so I've done this exercise in my previous video before. If you do not know, I'm going to explain again. Try to keep your lower back straight. Okay, now don't do this. Yes, you will feel a lot of stretch in your hamstring, but that's not the point in Pilates, okay? You can do other exercises to stretch your hamstring, but this exercise is called the spine stretch forward. So you want to think about stretching your spine. You want to imagine somebody is pulling your tummy backwards. So imagine you're wearing a belt or wearing a pants, somebody is pulling your pants to the back. So you want to do this, hovering over a ball feeling. And then inhale, set up the spine. So I'm assuming most of us are tight at the back and hamstring. So we're going to do that a lot more. Inhale, and then exhale, head knot. Rounding the back, reach forward. Okay, so you can see I'm not moving my lower back. I'm really trying to reach my hands forward and keep the shoulders relaxed. Try not to lift the shoulders up like too much, and just keep it relaxed, dropping it down. You're rounding your body over a big ball. Somebody is pulling you backwards. So keep reaching your hands forward, pulling your spine, your tummy backwards. It always have to be a two-way stretch. Just imagine you have a ruler, you bend both sides. You can't just bend one side. Okay? So if you only bend one side and you let go of the other hand, the whole ruler will go like flip up, right? So you want to bend both sides. Both sides has to work together. That's how you stretch something. And then inhale. So you can do as much as you can. Especially for people with spinal problem, you do this really, you don't want to just round the lower back too much. Keeping the lower back straight is very important. And then sitting up. Now the next exercise is my favorite. It's called the saw. So just now that one is called spine stretch forward. Now we're going for the saw. Basically, very nice and tall. You're going to open your hands wide, not behind you, slightly in front of your body. Now try to sit up as tall as you can. You're going to rotate your spine. Okay, can you see my spine is straight? Now, and then a lot of people will do this. Okay, try to keep yourself tall. If you need to just keep the knees slightly bent, it's okay. Okay, from facing sideways, I'm going to turn my right thumb down. Okay, the back hand, the thumb pointing down. Reason is you want to relax your shoulder joint. Now from here, this hand is going to reach over outside the little toe. Okay, and I'm going to keep reaching forward. Now some people like to look at the hand at the back. I do not like this because I want to feel more stretch on my neck. I'm going to look at my tummy. So I will feel the whole stretch from my neck, even from the left side of my back. And you will feel the stretch on your right hamstring. You want to make sure left bottom is not lifting out. Some people who are tight at their hamstring, you just lift up the bottom. I'm going to show you the other side so you can see clearly. I'm going to look at my tummy. I want to imagine somebody just pulling my hand, really reaching it nice and long. And then I'm going to stack up my spine. Still sitting up straight and not like this. Alright, and come back to center. I'm going to show you the other side. Inhale, I'm going to turn. So keeping my body straight, not collapsing, straight. Turn the back hand down. This hand already pointing towards my left toes. I will reach outside the left toe. And then I'm going to look at my tummy. Still keeping the lower back straight. I'm going to reach forward. Now make sure you're not doing this. A lot of people, because they want to touch, you want to try to touch it and then they lift the bottom up. Sit it down. And this hand looking, this hand reaching forward, you can see this side of my back really stretching out. And inhale, stack of the spine, look at the side, and coming back to the center. Oops, my hair. And again, inhale. And turn your thumb and reach forward. Inhale, I stack up my spine. And return. Inhale, turn. And exhale, reaching forward. And then stack up my spine. And return back to the center. Okay, you can do as many times as you want until you feel nice and comfortable. Okay, so let's lie down on the floor. Good, stretch a little bit more for your hamstring. Okay, this is how I like to do it. I like to lie down to stretch those hamstrings. It's more effective. You can really feel what your body is doing. You want to keep those bottom down, really feeling that you are lying down on your pelvis, on your sacrum. Okay, it's down. Okay, where's the sacrum? This part. It's the bottom. This part. Okay, has to be on the floor. Alright, this is your waist. So not your waist. Sacrum here, where your pants can cover. The bones there. This is called your sacrum, okay? If you do not know, you want to make sure sacrum is down. And then you want to lift the leg up. If you can't keep it straight, I mean just keep the knee slightly bent. Okay? We're going to just stretch it out. Pull it towards your chest. Yeah, just gently stretching. If you realize in Pilates there's a lot of dynamic stretch. We don't like to do a static stretch because static stretch sometimes can hurt you. Okay, so it's always a dynamic stretch. You stretch and you work on the muscle. You stretch, you let the muscle work. Yeah, then slowly you might be able to open more and more. Okay, if you are tight, just keep your knee bent slightly, but don't bend too much. This is a common mistake I see people doing. Okay, they will like do this. No, both sides must have the same shape, both legs. If you keep it bent, both legs bend. Not one leg bending more than the other. There's no point, can't feel anything. Now, there's also another version I like to do with my clients. A lot of people couldn't keep their pelvis down. Okay, so this is what I like to tell them to do. Okay, you release one leg on the floor and one leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, so you're here, you pull, and then you release. And you pull, and then release. Yeah, okay, just like that. You want to make sure that, can you see my bottom leg is moving? You don't want it to move. If it's moving, you know you're actually stretching. You're just tilting your pelvis. You're just lying to yourself. It's your hip is the one moving. It's not you're stretching your hamstring. All right. So I'm going to show you the other side. I'm going to come out a little bit so you can see. Okay. So here. So again, I keep this leg straight, and I'm just going to do a gentle pull and release. Gentle pull and release. If you're tight, just keep your knee slightly bent. You want to avoid no, big no of this moving. Okay, see how my spine is moving, so you want to avoid doing that. Okay, so we're going to turn around. Okay, now besides your hamstring, your back, we need to stretch out the front part also, front part of our body. Okay, so let's lie down on the floor. Now let's stretch out the leg first. I like to stretch out the quads. A lot of people don't know how to stretch the quad, and they keep complaining it's also tight. Now I just bend one leg and my hand grabbing my ankle, and I'm just going to pull it towards my bottom. Okay, you can pull with both hands if you want. Okay, now most people will feel the stretch already. If you're flexible like me, okay, if you do not feel the stretch, what you're going to do is I want you to think about your knee is reaching to the back and lifting up. Okay, watch me. So this is my normal stretch. I can already touch my bottom, but I can't feel anything. So what am I going to do? See, I'm going to lift my knees up and think about reaching it down towards the wall and then relax. Okay? I'm pulling it slightly up so I can feel the stretch all the way towards my hip flexor. Okay? But lift it up a little bit and think about reaching long. Because I'm pretty flexible. Okay? Now we'll show you the other side. Okay? Probably you won't be able to see it so well this side. Okay? So now you see my toes, my ankle is already touching my bottom, but I can't feel any stretch. So I'm going to lift my knees up a little bit. I'm going to lift my knees up at the same time. Think about long. Down. Okay? Down towards my opposite toes. Lift it out and reach it down towards my opposite toes. That's how you feel the stretch at your quads. Now let's stretch out the back hook. This is one of the most important stretch I feel. A lot of people struggle with this. Now, elbow on the floor, open your palms. You can open wider if you need to, okay? As soon as you feel comfortable. You're looking down at the floor. You're going to inhale, take a deep breath, look straight, and push yourself up. Now this is a very common stretch everybody do, but a lot of time people make a mistake of collapsing. To be honest, it's hurting my back now because I have a great back, but my right side of my back is not doing very well. So this collapsing movement, can you see the squeezing of my fats? It's actually really not so good. I'm going to just lift your tummy up and then lower down. Where we adjust my position again. Okay, inhale. And push myself up. Now you want to give your spine a nice stretch. It's just nicer if you keep pulling your tummy up. You don't have to keep collapsing. It's really not good to compress your spine. Okay? You want to just lift it up, give it a little bit more room while letting your spine move. Alright? And again, inhale. I'm actually lifting my lower abs up. And then slowly to lower down. Okay, another common mistake. You see, this one. I mean, it's not wrong. I know in yoga you do this, but you do like this, you go and do this. The reason is when you hear my voice, my voice change. That is not a good sign. It's not natural if your voice changes. Whether you can just test yourself, is your voice change, you are wrong. I'm not doing it purposely, okay? So this is the ideal position. Your spine, your head to your spine is nice and smooth in a curve. And then you slowly coming down. So you really articulate the spine, looking up and pushing yourself up. Pulling your tummy up and then lower down. So you're stretching your back, you're stretching your tummy out at the same time also, because you stretch this way. You pull it up to the stretch. Actually when you're collapsing you won't feel so much. When you're sucking it in and then give a nice stretch. Woo, nice. You feel the stretch in my tummy. And then lower down. Alright, let's push yourself up. Always after you do a back stretch, you want to go into a shell stretch. Sitting your bottom down onto your heels, really rounding those back. Imagine like a shell covering. There's a ball in your tummy. Alright, keep it nice and round. Now try not to do this. I know a lot of you like to do this. But in Pilates you don't do this. Reason being is you're not stretching those lower back. The lower back hurts so much. You want to really stretch it out. Okay, and then slowly rolling up and stack up your spine. Okay, right, let me adjust a little bit. We're going to sit down on the floor. And of course, we'll stretch a different position now. I'm going to face you, the camera. I'm going to stretch those inner thighs, those hips. Now, I'm going to place my feet in this position. Alright, I'm clapping my feet position. A lot of people call this a butterfly position. Going to this butterfly position. Now, I want you to stretch more on your hip. Okay, really let your hip opening. So a lot of people, they are very flexible. They keep their feet very close towards your pubic bone. Okay, actually I don't feel this works because it doesn't stretch out your hip at all. Okay, it's all about, like, you don't feel anything. So what you want to do is make it a little bit further. Okay, make it a little bit further. And then what you're going to do now is you want to try to keep the knee as low as possible. Okay, you're going to hold your ankle and then exhale, round your back, and then you're going to fold your body forward. Now, what you're doing here is you want to try to keep the knees down. Okay, you feel a stretch around your hip. And then you're slowly rolling up and stack up your spine. Okay, and again, you want to feel the hip opening up. Okay, if you want, you can actually add on your hand pushing your knee down. Now, as you can see, my right knee is higher than my left because I got a hip problem on my right side. So I don't know when is it going to be fixed, but I always feel better after I stretch it this way, especially since this side I have a problem. I always like to do this. I like to press this down, and then immediately I will feel my right hip joint and my right back kind of like stretch and release a little bit. Yeah, so I like to do one side. If you have the same problem, it's quite common to have this problem, especially ladies, when we like to, when we sit, we like to press our legs. It's not the best thing to do, but anyway, it looks pretty, right? So next one. We're going to open your leg to the side here. Okay, opening your legs to the side, and then we're going to sit up as tall as you can. Okay, now open your leg as wide as possible. Now if you can't, just keep your leg a little forward. That is fine. Okay, now we're going to in here, open your hands, and then we are going for the side bend. Okay, you want to keep the bottom down and reach over. Okay, so maybe you feel a lot of stretch in your hamstring and your inner thigh, which is good. That's the point. And reach over. And then coming up, stack up the spine. So you want to keep the bottom sitting down all the time. If there are some people who are not flexible, they will tend to lift up the bottom. You shouldn't be doing that. Keep the bottom sitting down and then over. And then up. Okay, one more time. Reaching over. Now I like to add on from here. I like to do a rotation. Grab your ankle so that my back feel the stretch, and this knee try to go down towards the floor. I said before, like, I have this problem, this pain on my right side. It's a fantastic movement for me because I'm able to open up the hip at the same time my spine is stretching the opposite direction. And come up sideways and then up. Of course, this is also a version that you can do. Look up towards the ceiling, open your hand. Okay? Open up the chest. And then come back to the side and then return. Okay? Of course, you must do the other side. Adjust a little bit so you can see my leg. As if you realize I'm keeping my leg flexed, the reason is I have a very tight calf, so I can stretch out my calf a little bit. If you prefer to keep your toes pointing, that's no problem. Okay, if you want to stretch more on your calf, you actually can pull your toes. Yeah? Just like that. And then open. But if you want to feel more stretch your ankles, this is all the ballerina do. They press the toes down. And then they do the stretch. It's not easy unless it's super flexible. you've got the flexibility at your hamstring and your inner thighs, then you'll be able to touch your toe and then press your toes down. Okay? It's really up to you. Flex toes, wing toes, up to you. We're going to add in a little bit more stretch here and a rotation. And then sideways, and I can open my chest. And then I can return, come up all the way. Now, for those of you who are pretty tight, you can keep your leg slightly forward and reach for the toe. Yeah, you will feel the same stretch also. Or you can put your hands at the side. You feel the sideways more. Okay, really try to find the one that is you feel comfortable with, but don't do this. I see a lot of people doing this. Like, don't cover your face. Let it open up the chest. Unless you want to rotate, then you rotate it down. If not, just keep yourself open up. Okay? Really, you want to open up the side. Now, a little bit more side. I always like to do a little bit more side because it tends to be a part that we all feel pretty tight and we seldom do anything sideways, so it becomes very stiff. So this is what I like to do, the mermaid pose. Now, not everybody feels good sitting in this position because of the hip, okay? Especially men, this position is not good. Or if you feel like you're those like very stiff kind of person, this is not a very good position because it just gets stuck here and you might get a cramp. If so, you can just cross your leg. Okay, but that's the reason why I like to do this mermaid pose. Even if this position makes you very uncomfortable, another version will be just sitting like this. This will be a little bit more comfortable. Alright? Now, the reason I like to do a mermaid pose is you're going to reach your hand up, just right sideways. Now, you see what I mean? So when my leg is out, I'm stretching out. I want you to keep the bottom down and not lifting the bottom up. So you have to work pretty hard to keep this bottom down, and then you come up. And then this hip is already stretching in an internal rotation position. I'm going to stretch over the side. It feels very good for the side here and also for this hip. And then coming up. Okay. Stretching to the side and then up, and then stretching to the other side and then coming up. Of course, you can do this also if you feel like that's putting a leg down is very uncomfortable. Keep it a bit closer, overlapping your ankle, and then you can still feel the same. Okay, you're going to go the other side. Alright, this is not my favorite, but it's always good to give it a stretch. And you do both sides and you feel like one side is easier to do than the other. That is the reason why we're going to this position. So, on one-sided isolation movement is always good because you get to understand your body more, which side is stiffer, which side needs a little bit more work, and things like that. So, it's a pretty long video for stretchings. I love stretchings. Of course, if you want to do a little bit more stretch for your arms, you can just, this is easy one, just stretch out before we finish. Yeah, just a simple one. And then you can stretch it over your head. And then stretch it over your head. Yeah, but folding your elbow. Instead of pulling it over, you see the difference? I'm actually folding my elbow and I'm feeling the stretch all the way here. Instead of this way. Actually, I don't feel anything. Okay? So this one, I will feel the tricep stretch more. Instead of okay? Try not to do that. A little bit more stretch if you want. You're going to push it forward, lace your fingers. See, I lace my fingers and turn my palm and push it forward. And then look at my tummy. What I did about my hand reaching forward. And then I can put my hands at the back. I'm literally lacing my hands at the back. And I open up my chest. And I just look straight to the front. and then relax. Alright, that's it for today. Happy stretching. This is probably the part that I enjoy the most, stretching. Alright. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.